Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of the First Class Podcast. I'm your host, Joey Bonsanti. Sitting across from me, as always, Tony Vegas. It's been a little bit here. It's been 2 weeks. The last time we were on here together was before you left for Vegas. It was the week before the schedule drop. I came on here, did a solo episode, ran through the whole schedule. I still not talked to Tony about the schedule. I have no idea how many wins or losses he thinks that the Jets will have in 2026. Tony, we are in end of May with nothing to talk about. How is Nashville? And how you doing?
Nashville was great. I posted some silly videos that some of you may have seen. I do not know if I regret that yet, but it was a good time seeing a bunch of my buddies. So do you want to run through the schedule real quick? You want to just name me the schedule? I'll give you my W's and L's and see what we come with. I have yet to do this.
Sure, yeah. So since you weren't here, obviously, you haven't – I honestly have no idea where you're at.
I don't know either.
Talked about it. So, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Let's do this. I actually almost wonder if I should do it on NFL Perry so I could keep a... That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this.
I love putting Joey on the spot and just making
All right, Tone. Ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Jets-Titans, week 1.
God. They're going to win.
All right. Then we come home, Packers, week 2.
That's going to be an L.
Lions on the road.
L.
Bears on the road.
L. Holy shit.
Browns at home.
I don't like that game.
Like the Jets are at home against the Browns.
I know. All right, fine. Win.
Patriots on the road.
Loss.
Dolphins at home.
Win.
Raiders at home.
Win.
On the road at Kansas City.
Loss.
Home against Buffalo.
Loss.
On the road against the Chargers.
Loss. Damn.
On the road against Miami.
Do we sweep Miami? Yes, we do. Win.
The Week 13 bye, which I hate. Have no idea how you feel about that. Week 14 at home against the Broncos.
Loss. We never beat them. Other than that one time we beat them.
On the road in Arizona.
They fucking stink. Lost, though.
At home against the Patriots.
Loss. We're not beating them.
At home against the Vikings.
I'm going to say win.
And then on the road against Buffalo.
Loss.
Okay, so we're pretty much the same. I mean, you have it 6-11. I have it at 5-12. With, I think I'm trying to think of looking back on what the loss that I had there. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look.
It's so tough, man. Like, we're fucking looking at 5 or 6 wins again. It's like insane.
I did an exercise on the podcast last week or 2 weeks ago at this point where I did a schedule prediction where it was the version of where the result of where Glenn needs to save his job. And
they gotta split with the fucking Bills.
Dude, they'd have to go 3-3 in the division, which for any other team to ask to split in your division is an easy thing to do. The Jets can never fuck.
But we have 2 Super Bowl contenders in our division, man. It's so tough. It sucks because this is going to be another.
Is it really that much to ask for? To go 3-3 is sweeping Miami, who's a horrible football team, and then taking one from the Bills or Patriots.
I think it would have to be the Bills. I don't think they're beating the Patriots. I don't know why.
And that's fine. I mean, you at least have to play where you say, "Wow, we almost won that game," or we squeezed this one out. Like, if Glenn's going to save his job, it's going to have to be a 3-3 division split, no doubt. No doubt.
I agree with you. They're going to have to steal one like that Chargers game. Like, they're going to have to win something like that. And, like, they're going to have to get to, like, 7 or 8. They can't do 5 or 6. It's got to be 7 or 8.
Okay, so in your scenario, right, if I flip them to just beating the Bills last week of the season, they go 3-3 in the division. That puts them at 7-10. And can you take one from the Cardinals? And can you steal one from, like... Yeah, that's where it gets tough. Like the Kansas City Buffalo Chargers stretch is horrible heading into the bye.
Yeah, man. I mean, in the beginning of the season, holy shit. this could get away from them, dude. This could be like a 3-win season and everybody gets fired type deal, or it's like that is a scenario where that happens. Like where I mean, look, they're gonna get their fucking mouth punched. They're playing the Bears, Packers, Lions. Like they could lose to the Titans, dude. They're not guaranteed to beat that team away, in Nashville.
I had them losing that game, but beating Green Bay.
There's just a real scenario where they're 0-4, and then it's like, oh shit, here we go again, and the team just completely falls apart. Like that is a real thing. It sucks, but why don't dude figure it out? Like it sucks for Aaron Glenn, but if he has the chops to make it in this league, you gotta win 7 or 8 games.
Yeah, and I was splitting up into quarters. Like the first quarter, come out of there with 1 win. The second quarter is where you got to come out like 3-2. 3-1. You have to. It's Browns, Patriots, Dolphins, Raiders. You got to take 3 there.
You got to take 3, and it's a tall task, man. It's a young team. You don't really have a quarterback. Like we don't know what we have at quarterback. Are we getting Raiders Geno? Are we getting Seahawks Geno? We don't know, man. Like how ready to contribute is Kenyon Sadiq going to be? How ready to contribute is Omar Cooper going to be? Because like we have all these positions. Like okay, we have this guy there, this guy. These are rookies. It's going to take a little bit for them to adjust, like.
Did you listen to my episode 2 weeks ago? Because he sounded exactly what I said. The biggest thing I said was, it's May. Everyone's excited. Like the schedule's dropping. We got all these new weapons. Realistically, these are kids that need time to develop. Like, is every single one of them going to come in and be a plus starter? Probably not.
Not right away. They're a year away. They're a year away from like the 9 to where I could comfortably with a little bit of a lighter schedule, I can be like, all right, they should win fucking 9 games here. Like, because listen, dude, you're gonna have Sadiq, Kubik, you're gonna have all these guys, a year older. You're hopefully gonna have a new quarterback under center, or like, you'll have Geno. Maybe if he plays well and he just starts, and you have a rookie behind him or something like that. And then you have 3 more first-round picks to infuse the roster with talent and sign a bunch of free agents. You're going to have a ton of money. That's going to be the year. And listen, it's honestly kind of working in our favor, because if Glenn does come out of that, like this is a tough schedule, right? Like if he comes out of this with like 8 wins, you're sitting there like, okay. I mean, look, you give him a little bit of a better roster with a lighter schedule, and he could fucking win 10 games. Especially with another year of coaching under his belt, maybe Reich stays and Duker, who's the DC's name, Brian Duker.
Brian Duker.
Yeah. He looks pretty good in his role, or Glenn's managing the defense well. It's going to be an interesting trial run, and look, if it goes sideways, they're getting canned. If it doesn't, as a fan base, we should be like, okay, maybe they do deserve to make the decision at quarterback, and try to figure it out from there. But I don't know, Joey. We're looking way too far ahead. It's May. Let's see how these guys look in camp. We had our first day of OTA stats, which is always scary.
Saw you tweet out, damn it, or whatever the hell today when you saw the Cade Klubnik 11 of 11 and on 7 and 7.
I can't do it. I can't do the Cade Klubnik thing. And listen, I hope he works out. I've said this a million times. If he's QB2 for, 3 years or 4 years, or, that's a good pick in the 4th round for a quarterback. If he's anything more than that, that's a slam dunk. And I would be very surprised, and everybody else should be surprised too. He was a 4th, 5th, 6th round pick. We just took him in the 4th. We were high on him, and let's see what happens there. It's going to be like, for some reason, it's going to like dominate OTAs. He went 4 completions today against the 3rd stringers.
Can't do it on May 28th, man. I really can't. I can look at Brandon Sorsby.
Sorsby
getting
it was natural
rejected by the NCAA granting the eligibility. So I mean, one step closer to that supplemental draft, and that's a dart I'm willing to throw.
Dude,
it really is.
I'm willing to throw, I would say, a little bit more than a dart. I think I would do the 2nd round pick. A lot of people disagree with me on that. But look, man, realistically, who we get? We got D'Angelo Pons this year. That's, hopefully, okay, you got a good slot corner. Are you taking a chance, an extra chance at a franchise quarterback? You get him in the building. I don't know if he's going to get suspended. That's something that needs to work itself out. This guy is going to be a first round pick, or he was on track to be a first round pick. And he's 6'3", 235 pounds with what would be a top 5 arm in the NFL. Completion percentage isn't there yet, but dude, this, I mean, if you asked me who that sounds like as a prospect, just a prospect, who is it?
I don't know.
Poor accuracy in college, cannon arm.
Josh Allen?
It's a Josh Allen type, like, prospect, dude. Like, I'm not saying he's, like, going to be Josh Allen, but nobody here wanted to touch Josh Allen in the draft, right? Nobody wanted him. And guess what? He ended up being, the number 6 pick and an absolute beast. I'm just saying, man, like, would you rather a D'Angelo Pons type prospect or a pretty big bite at the apple at a chance of a franchise quarterback in a draft where you have 3 first-round picks?
I push back on the second rounder for this reason. Jets win 4 games, whole staff gets fired. Sorsby wasn't playing half the season. I wouldn't want him there in that kind of situation after spending a second-round pick on him. That's my only pushback on that. And I know you could probably say, oh, well, what if they go out and get this offensive guru, which is a possibility, but I just don't think it's a favorable. If I knew that the Jets were going to win 8 games this year and he was able to sit there behind a competent offense and have a chance to start next year, yeah, I'd sign up for that. But God, if this team starts 0-8, I don't know if they would, but
if they have him, he would play at that point. Like,
if he's not suspended for half the season.
If they start 0-8, yeah, but that's half the season. He'd be eligible.
Yeah, I mean,
it's tough, man. Like, it's a lot.
I just know 2027 Tony would be so angry, being like, I wish I just had that second round pick. And if he played and he looked like crap and the whole thing turned up on side his head, like, I have a feeling you'd say that. That's all.
Well, of course I would, because in that scenario it doesn't work out, but I would be like, look, they fucking tried. Like, at least they tried, and who knows? Maybe, I mean, you go into camp, maybe he looks good in year 2. Like, then you have a thing where it's like, ooh, what's going on here with Sorsby? Do you deal him or something? Like,
yeah, you could trade him.
You could trade him. Like, it's so interesting. And I just think this staff, they probably watched him a ton because, they were at Texas Tech's Pro Day. He was throwing there. He's, they obviously did some sort of work on him out of Cincinnati. So a lot of the pushback that I get is, maybe not him as a prospect, but, the whole gambling thing, obviously, like, oh, he's a gambling addict. He has all this stuff going on. But I don't know him personally. Like, I have a very strong inclination that he probably won't do it again because it would ruin his life. At that point, he got caught once. I just don't think he's going to get caught twice / do it, make the same exact mistake. Again, I don't know him. I could be wrong. Maybe he's the serial fucking, Daniel Negreanu gambler fucking casino guy. Like, I don't know. But I would find it hard to believe that he would ever do something like that again, in my opinion. So I'm doing it too. And I can see why you disagree. I'm sure you're going to say you would do a 3, right?
I'd probably do a 3, yeah.
You'd probably do a 3.
If they did a 2, dude, I can't get mad at them for swinging the bat and getting another quarterback in the room. I'm a very open-minded Jets fan who's open to many different sides of the world here. So
you should, man. I mean, fuck. Like, how are we going to... It would be so fitting for us to get our franchise quarterback through the supplemental draft.
Yeah, guy's just a degenerate gambler, and he's
like, degenerate. You're telling me you wouldn't get behind that? That's kind of sick,
dude. I'm all for 15-year playoff drought. There's not many things I wouldn't get behind. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, look.
We'll segue into this though. The New York Knicks are in the NBA Finals. You're a bigger Knicks fan than I'm a straight up fake Knicks fan. I was in 6th grade. I was a massive Thunder fan, and in 7th grade, I said, "Yep." I was a Thunder fan growing up. You don't know this. I said, I'm not doing this growing up, having this one odd-out team. So I switched to the Knicks, watched them for a few years, kind of fizzled out with basketball. So I root for them. but I'm not going to be out here posting on my Instagram and all this stuff about how the Knicks are in the finals. But it's given me hope, and I know you're all fired up about the Knicks in the finals. I think it gives me hope for the Jets and just hope for the New York sports environment.
It's super weird. We were talking about this before the show. It almost feels so surreal watching the Knicks do this, where I'm to the point where it's like, I could never imagine the Jets. I don't know why. I get it should be like, oh, the Knicks did it. The Jets should be able to do it too. I mean, so many things had to go right for this to happen, dude. Like, they made some ballsy decisions, and the Jets are probably going to be facing a few similar decisions here, right? Coming up with the 3 first-round picks, the coaching decision. Look, the Knicks dealt a lot of their core. They drafted RJ Barrett. They drafted, Emmanuel Quickley. They ended up trading them both in like a year where Quickley was having a great year. RJ was RJ. And they traded them both for OG Anunoby. That was it was a pretty, it got criticized a good amount. When I first saw it, I was like, what the fuck did they just do? They go out, they sign Randall, he kind of raises the floor a little bit. And then they make this, this crazy move for Jalen Brunson. They're moving heaven and earth. And it just so happens that he's probably the best, move in sports in the past like decade in New York, at least. I mean,
Yeah.
It's insane that they just signed this guy and he's a top 10 player in the NBA and, already one of the best Knicks of all time. But there were decisions, Joey, where they had to be ballsy. And, that mainly that came last year where they reached the Eastern Conference Finals. They didn't have the juice. They lose. And then they fired Tom Thibodeau, who was like best friends with Leon Rose. It was, you want to talk about highly criticized. Like, that was a move where a lot of the fan base was like, how the fuck do you fire Tibbs? He was the one that, raised the floor, got us to this point. You only give him one real shot. And they hire Mike Brown. Not everybody wanted Mike Brown. Like, it was, again, we wanted Jason Kidd, I think, for the most part. And look where they are now, right? I mean, firing Tom Thibodeau, getting a Mike Brown who, he's a little bit more of a player's coach. He changed the vibes, and basically handing him the keys to the castle of Brunson, Cat, OG, McHale. I mean, this team's loaded, and they're good. They have a very real shot at winning the NBA Finals. The Jets are coming up on like that year of, look, they're going to have to basically make their final marks on the roster with 3 first-round picks, a bunch of cap space, and that coaching decision, it's going to be the same thing. If Glenn wins 8 games and, you're sitting there like, fuck, we can hire, Kevin O'Connell got fired or something along those lines. Like, do you have the balls to fire a guy that won you 8 games when you haven't done that in God knows how long, and try to get the dude that's going to take you to the playoffs and, start winning playoff games and actually flip this thing around? It's going to be very interesting. A lot of stuff needs to play out, and we need to see how they look this year because, maybe they have that like year 1 of Randall where it's like, okay, the Knicks are like kind of watchable. Like, it's not bad. They have some players here. Or do they just, stay the same and win 3 games and then the decision's obvious. But, you have the QB decision looming. You have to find your Jalen Brunson. The Jets do not have their Jalen Brunson. And the only way that's, he's a point guard, that's obviously the quarterback. That's just how it is. So that's a long-winded way of me saying, God, it's hard for me ever to imagine the Jets doing this just because, like, it doesn't feel real that the Knicks are doing it right now. It's insane.
I also think a reason you feel that way is the level of dominance the Knicks are playing at. Like, they're not only beating teams, they're sweeping them. They're literally beating teams by 20, 30. And it just looks so easy for them. They looked a little rusty game 1 against Cleveland, but God, I think the reason it gives me hope just seeing a team that was bad for so long, with the whole James Dolan thing, and they bring in people who actually know how to run an organization, and they're making these moves, and like the OG trade to me, and that type of player, man, I don't watch a lot of NBA basketball, but when you watch the Knicks, he automatically sticks out to me. Guy does everything right. But again, to tie this back to the Jets, they are going to have to make I think what you brought up, they go 8-9, and there is it doesn't have to be Kevin O'Connell, but is there a caliber of coach that's out there that Woody Johnson should just say, this guy's, we drafted Glenn. He was a great Jet, but man, like, if we can get this guy to push us to 11, 12 wins, fuck it. Let's just do it. So I think you're right. They could be in a similar situation with a lot of moves to be made. Obviously, the quarterback being the biggest one. Obviously, if they go 8-9, that would be even more interesting to see what happens. But God, man, it is surreal to see a New York team dominate like this. I mean, they're literally waiting in the NBA Finals for their opponent. I don't think anyone could have drew that up with
insane.
Days and days of rest. But yeah, I think that's why it feels so surreal. They're putting belt to ass, and that's something.
Yeah.
I think if the Jets get to the playoffs, they're not going to be blowing teams out by 40.
They just waltz their way to the Super Bowl. That'd be quite the sight. I wonder what it's interesting. I wonder what New York / New Jersey, whatever the tri-state area would be like if the Jets do go to the Super Bowl. I obviously we got a taste of it when they went to the AFC Championship way back in the day, but we were so young. Like we were what? I think we were like 13,
11, 12, yeah.
12, yeah, whatever we were. Obviously the Knicks are like our team. Like everybody likes the Knicks. I don't know a single fucking shithead Nets fan. Like I was just saying, move them to fucking Seattle. Like get them out of here, dude. Nobody likes them. They had Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, and I'm the biggest Kevin Durant fan out there. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, all right, KD's there, I guess. I could go watch him whenever. I never went to watch. Like, I'm never going to the fucking Barclays Center to watch the Nets. It's never happening.
That's the other interesting thing, though. Like, the Knicks are the team. Jets, Giants, Rangers, Islanders, Mets, Yankees. Like, if they win a championship, this is the biggest event the city's gonna see out of all the teams winning the championship, right? Like between the 2 NHL teams, 2 NFL teams, 2 NBA, like this is the team, this is the event, right?
Yeah, no doubt. This
is if the Jets win, you still have the Giants. If the Islanders win, you still have the Rangers, et cetera, et cetera. So
it would be. I don't even.
Pandemonium.
I don't even know, Joey. It would be one of the craziest things ever.
All right, let me play this G. Wilson sound talking about the Knicks. We'll react to it.
It's cool to see, and I'm glad I'm up here for it. I'm rooting the Knicks on like hell, and yeah, man, that gives us a taste of what it might look like when we figure this thing out. Which, we're excited for the opportunity.
Isn't he just the best?
Yeah. Maybe we do have our Brunson.
I mean, he's just unbelievable. I was thinking about this walking out of work today. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking about. Garrett Wilson walking out of work. I'm thinking about he must be there. I think he's genuinely I want to be a part. He dreams about being in these big games. I really do believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll leave next year and go to a contender, but it feels like he wants to do it from the ground up here. He wants to be a part of the change. I really do believe that. He has that mentality to him.
He does. And, we need him to be that. I mean, God, man, he's 20. He's younger than both of us, and he gets up there, and I'm just like, damn right, man. I love that this guy's the face of. Unfortunately, we're quite the shitty franchise, and we're not coming off 3 wins. But I couldn't ask for a better face. I mean, and he's exactly right, dude. It gives you a taste of what it's going to be like. I mean, look, I'm Jets here, then Knicks, Ranger, stuff it's like that. That would be different. It would be so different, dude. I don't even know. And imagine us we get up here and we talk about on a podcast, in May about this fucking team that just won 3 games. And I just couldn't even imagine what this space that we, associate ourselves with is going to be like when they're even just in
8-9.
They're 8-9. It's going to be absolute mayhem of, the games are going to be amazing. You go to a game and it's a must win. That's going to be fucking fun. That environment's going to be totally different than you go into a snowy, whatever, a shit cold December game in which, they're already fucking out of it and it's already done. I don't know, Joey. I'm getting worked up here. It's so beyond my brain capacity to imagine. It's I don't know. It's fucking with me.
All right, well, I'm going to make you feel better here with a shot of nostalgia from what Gino had to say today.
Back in the building, just the first, coming in for physicals and just walking down that hall again. It's the very first hall I walked down when I, got drafted, and all those feelings come back. Just great feelings, great memories. Seeing my mom in the locker room, and I started just think about just my first time in the NFL, first time here. But immediately it clicked right back in. I got to get to work, and I just got right back to that. And so I'm really excited to be here and, even seeing, all you guys' faces again, it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, right? His lasting memory was probably him getting knocked out and losing his job, and that's his last memory with the Jets. And now he has a chance to rewrite something. I don't know if he could rewrite it to the playoffs, but he has a chance to at least get back to 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, 20 picks. I don't know, something like that.
Wouldn't it be sick if he throws like 33 touchdowns and breaks?
Oh, it's poetic. Poetic. It would be amazing.
That's what I want from him. I don't know what he's going to do. It's so hard to guess his stats. I think you're right. Like, good amount of yards, 25 touchdowns, and then like 12 interceptions is probably what we should expect. But God, if he breaks Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't like that he has the record. I don't know why. Rubs me the wrong way.
Yep.
He held out, and then he came here, got paid, fucking sucked. And I don't like him that much. I'm not going to lie to you. Ryan Fitzpatrick, not the biggest fan of him in the media. He's got the beard, and his whole shtick is like ripping his shirt off. Like, all right, bro, look, the Kelce's, Jason Kelce's got that, and I'm not even the biggest Jason Kelce fan. And he's doing that. So I don't know, but it is cool seeing him in the Jets uniform again, even though, we have the different helmets and whatnot. It's still pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. When I saw him coming out of the field, I totally thought he was Justin Fields.
Me too.
Did everybody think that? Dude, I don't know if it was the face mask and the visor. I was like, why are they posting Justin Fields?
I think it was it's the new practice jerseys with the 7 font. Like, it just, I don't know. You just picture Gino in this light with the Jets, and he looked exactly like Justin Fields, and I'm like, oh,
dude, I swear to God, I thought the social media team made an error, and they were accidentally posting Justin Fields things from last year. But it's cool. If you're gonna go and get a veteran QB in the offseason, I think Gino would probably be up there for me, and I'm glad they did it. It's cool that he's back, and he can go out. Hopefully, if he leads us to 8 wins, we'll remember him. Okay, remember when Gino came back and he was good for that year, and it'll give us a good memory of him, as an older, more veteran player.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, let's wrap it up with some DeMario sound. I don't know how the hell we're almost at 30 minutes in May, but
it's just a talented roster. It's talented in terms of the guys that are out there that are proven, and talented in terms of the guys that have potential to grow. And so when you have that right mix of guys who are proven and then the young guys who are developing, able to watch somebody at their position who's done it for a long time, it's what you need. You need a talented roster to compete in this game. That gives you a shot, and then it comes down to the execution and staying healthy.
Yeah, with him, I think the biggest thing that I think about, and I've preached this all offseason, can Jamien Sherwood get back to a playable level at linebacker? I think the answer is going to be yes, right? He looked pretty good with Mosley. Tony's leaving me here. You can't, if you're not watching, he's in his closet. Looked good with Mosley. You get DeMario, who's 37 years old, who is that leader. There he goes. He's getting his Sherwood jersey. He's number 44, baby. Let's go. I have belief. I know I'm definitely in the minority on that, though. I see a lot of people who would trade him to Tennessee, this and that. Listen, he's probably one of the last, after the Jets, funny enough, traded Irv Charles to Seattle for a conditional 7th the other day, one of the last Saleh era guys that Glenn and co paid a pretty large contract to, and had a disappointing year last year because he had to take more on that leadership role, red dot, call the plays. He doesn't have to do that this year with DeMario. Hopefully he stays healthy and gives Sherwood that lane again, where I feel like he better fits that role at linebacker. But another really weird, nostalgic thing, seeing him at the podium with number 56 on and seeing him back in a Jets uniform, man. It's weird to think that he, at this point in his career, I'm sure he could have gone to a contender if he wanted to and played sizable role, but to come back here at the age of 37 after not winning anything, like, it just speaks volumes to, I think, what he believes in. It could have been maybe the giant contract he got at the age of 37, but regardless, he came here with a plan. He believes in AG, believes in the organization, and hopefully, hey, maybe he can make this defense look like a top 18 unit. I don't know what's too high to shoot for now. You know,
You're exactly right. Like, if I were to pick a bounce back player this year, it would be one, on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know if you want to say a bounce back, but I would say AD Mitchell. I don't know why I'm expecting like decent wide receiver 3 production from him this year. Call me crazy. You know,
I don't think so. I don't think
I don't know. I get good vibes from Adonai Mitchell. I really like him coming out of Texas. And on the defensive side, it's Jamie Sherwood. Sherwood doesn't have the chops to be the quarterback of the defense. I just, it is what it is. Like, I don't want to like call him dumb or anything, but like, I don't think he has, the, I don't know how to say it. Demario Davis does. Like, CJ Mosley does. There are certain players that know, like, look, you need to be here. You need to be here. You need to be here. I think Jamie Sherwood's a guy where it's like, you have Demario Davis, tell him where he needs to be, and he'll do his role very well. He can play sideline to sideline. I think he's a really good tackler. And his stats are a little bit inflated because, our defensive line's been so fucking bad. They're blowing past them, and he's tackling them 6 yards down the field. But I liked Jamie Sherwood. I got his jersey. I thought he looked great when he was our guy behind Mosley and Quincy. And that's when I got that jersey. I was like, this guy looks good every time he's out there. So, he's got the big contract. He's getting $15 million a year. Obviously, he's going to be a cap casualty after this year, but go out there and fucking like earn another contract, man. If you have a good year, who knows? Maybe some other team's going to pay you $8 million a year, and now you can go from there. Like, he should be motivated and in a better position as that secondary kind of middle linebacker, off ball linebacker rather. So I'm expecting better things from him. I don't think he's going to be the worst player on the field like he was last time because he doesn't know where the fuck he's going because he's worried about everybody else. That's what was happening, guys. That's what was happening.
Yeah.
I know this. They're not the same old Jets.
God, I hope you're right, Aaron.
No, I didn't include any Aaron Glenn audio. I just can't do it yet. We'll get there at some point. But again, I don't know how the hell we would spend 33 minutes on a podcast in May about the Jets after we literally sat here pre-show being, what do we talk about? What are we going to talk about?
We had no idea.
And we just went 33 mother effing minutes.
Couldn't even tell you what we talked about just now.
No, something about the Knicks, something about the OTAs, whatever.
Dumb.
Herb Charles. But yeah, go follow us on Twitter, First Class Pod. Listen to us on Patreon, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Thank you guys for listening as always. We'll talk to you next week, week after. We'll see what happens if there's any news pops up. But thanks for listening. Go Jets.